The story is that Thoth, the gods were not able to breed on Earth, so Thoth had to make a gamble, as they put it, with the moon. Is the best translation we have. A gamble. I don't know what that means, a gamble, but he needed to gamble with the moon for 1/72nd of its light. And he won the game. It was some game like chess or checkers or something, apparently, they played. According to the Egyptians, that's how we got from 360 to 365, and that's all we really have, is that he won that gamble with the moon, and now we have, for every 72 days, we have one extra day, which gives us a little bit over 5 days in a year, which puts us to 365.2425 day orbit, and more fascinatingly, syncs us up with Venus. And the angles within that are 72 degrees, right? And just to throw a few more crazy numbers at you, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. Well, 72 times 2 is 144. When people see the biblical 666 as the mark of the beast, in reality what that was, and it's carved in a lot of these old stone monuments, I guess would be the word, is it's 6 times 6 times 6, which equals 216, which is also 72 plus 72 plus 72, so that's the third go-around. And then, of course, if you take it 5 times, you get back to 360, which is a perfect 360-degree circle, which was our original orbit around the sun. But apparently that changed because Thoth made a gamble with the moon so the gods could breed here on Earth. Gods meaning, I'm assuming, aliens of some sort. And when you look at all this Egyptian stuff, don't assume they had this imagination. I mean, so many people do that. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, these people clearly walked amongst aliens, clearly. And if you don't see that, boy, you need to go re-examine all that stuff, because that's clearly what's going on. But anyway, here is me writing just multiple notes of gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, and all this stuff's just coming to me. It's part research, part just stuff I know I need to look at. But as I look here at the bottom, note I have here is that Thoth, or probably Thith, and it's the root word of thought, which is essentially what makes us be, as many philosophers have boiled down to, is that we think. I'm a thinking being. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but I do all my research on the internet, so I've never heard the name said, but I believe it's Descartes, Descartes. He was a philosopher, and he was the one who put that together. He actually spent his entire life trying to come up with actual pillars of reality to base everything else off of, because he figured everything is flawed if I don't have a base reality. And he wanted 4 of them. He only came up with one, which is I am a thinking being. He also did a lot of work on the pineal gland. If you guys don't know about that, it's this little thing inside your brain that makes you change big time. It makes you see the light. It's literally a it senses daylight through the eyes, but it also, this awakening process, that is what becomes activated. And folks in India, they get this. That's why they have the little red dot in the middle of their head. That's what it symbolizes in being awake. This one I also made in the process of trying to figure out what was going on in 2012. So this one's pretty old, but so you can see I'm just going through this ancient history in long periods of time. As you can see, it doesn't add up. It does not add up. We were brought here and taken away and brought back multiple times. This theory that we evolved from the monkey, well, it's probably relatively true. That was a long time ago, granted. These mythical places like Atlantis and all this, these are very real places, and many societies throughout the world, including most Native Americans, say the Earth and all the life, all the human life, was destroyed multiple times and then brought back. And I think they're dead on the money. I know they are. It just doesn't work any other way. I mean, such a developed being as the human, in terms of our Earth, not in terms of the universe, we're really pretty primitive. We just sort of popped up out of nowhere. We really did. So this theory that, we climbed out of the slime and eventually into dinosaurs and then into birds, and slowly but slowly we turned into a little lemur or whatever, and then a monkey and all that. No, that's silly. That's silly, and that makes no sense at all, and it doesn't work that way. We were absolutely created and dropped off here. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Question is, who did it? Probably multiple groups. Question is, how long ago? That's really hard to say, but it sure seems like there's something significant at the beginning of this Mayan calendar, the 5,125 years ago. There's a lot going on then, and it sure lines up to 2012 perfectly. There you have it. But I remember breaking this down. I said, this does not fit. We did not slowly evolve from apes. Did we at some point evolve? Yeah, I think that was a base life form, an intelligent life form they put down here to adapt to this planet, and then it was taken up and experimented with and had genes spliced in from all over the universe, which is a fantastic thing, really. It's not this horrible experiment. My God, they're helping us. How you think we evolved so quickly, guys? Look at even just our recent evolution in technology alone in the last 100 years, just out of nowhere. This huge spark of human brilliance. I don't think so. I mean, we've shown that we still have some pretty major flaws in judgment and thinking, and with our violence, mostly our will to kill each other still is insane. It's the most counterproductive thing imaginable to take another intelligent being's life. This was all influenced from outside, but I just wanted to put in some of my drawings and stuff because these were drawings / calculations, I guess you could call them. This is stuff that is near and dear to my heart, and I kind of wanted to put out there just to show a little bit more of what this is like. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who has stuff like this. And somebody told me that somebody's done research on this and it has an actual name, and I try to shy away from other people's work. I like to do my own thing and meet people individually and organically. I think that's a better way to do it, but it certainly keeps me from being influenced by someone else's probably strongly concocted opinion, which I have my own, but I'd rather they're my own, you know. So that's that, guys. Less humor in this one, different tone. Strictly boring, nerdy, and educational. Completely interesting to me, and I'm sure others will find it that way too. But I'd like to get feedback on these things that I showed here, and you know, tell me what you think about it. If you guys can make anything more out of this, my God, help me out. We can learn to travel interdimensionally somewhere in here. This is within the ballpark, these numbers and the geometric shapes. That's the right way to head if you want to build a freaking time machine, or if you want to learn to. In a time machine, you can't go backwards in your own timeline. That's impossible. You can jump to other timelines, though. They're faster or quicker than your current one, and that's. Let me draw how that's done real quick too. Let me draw the fourth and fifth dimension. Okay, the fourth dimension is, and I may have gone into this. The fourth dimension is reflection. And what we need to understand about the fourth dimension is that it is literally here, the same as 3D. And to these beings that I talk to, they get really frustrated with the interdimensional questions, because to them it's so simple. And I suppose that's the case. To us, it's sure not. But I mean, to them, it's I always say to people, it's like walking to from here to the refrigerator to get myself a sandwich. It's really not a big deal to them, but essentially, you can use certainly the big hunk of antimatter in the middle of our galaxy, which some call a black hole. They may be the same thing, it's hard to say. But if they are, black holes are very misunderstood, because antimatter is pushing this galaxy out. It's constantly expanding, and it's not getting sucked into a black hole. But it may be a black hole, so that's hard to get. But you got to think what's on the other side of that antimatter. Does something got to get sucked in that is matter to be pushed out our side on antimatter, and then what's on the other side? Well, there you have your answer. Okay, that's your mirror in the fourth dimension. It goes in, through, and out another side. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. In other words, everything is perfectly synced together. But as a reflection, and that's the best mirror that you can use. I believe there are ways to use this bodies as big as the sun, possibly even Jupiter, as one of those mirrors to get from one place to another. You just got to line yourself up on the opposite side of it, keeping in mind that everything in space almost is spherical. Certainly planets that you want to go to are. So when I say the opposite side, if you calculate it correctly and you have the right mirror, and it's in the right place at the right time, and so are you, and you know how to use it, you can be kind of right next to it, or you could be all the way on the exact opposite side, because it's all spherical, right, guys? So if it's reflection, it's reflecting literally in every single direction. Meaning that on this Earth, we, without knowing it, have who knows how many places that are literally right where we are at the same time, bringing in possibly other beings, maybe some of them unknowingly like us, from other places that literally become here, but since it's all in motion, it's temporary. But does it fold? Yeah, kinda. It does on the other side of that big hunk of antimatter, you know, because it spews back out the other side. There's a mirror image on the other side.